Welcome. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast as Jordan adjusts his microphone stand.
I can't figure out what I want.
This is episode 24.
Big 2-4.
24, guys. This is the We'll See You Later
R.I.P. in
podcast.
peace, Kobe.
We are brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition, the best energy and nutrition on the planet. We talk all things sports and entertainment from our point of view, a fan's point of view. If you're wanting college football, you might want to listen to me. If you want NFL, you might want to listen to Jordan right now.
Yeah, that's right.
So we're going straight into Pig Walk, where we talk our college football and NFL. We're going to go with last week's recap of what we call Pig'ems.
Pig 'em.
We pick 5 games. We pick our winners, our spreads, and then we pick one upset to be an outright upset for a top 25 team. Last week, I went 4-2. My upset hit. BYU did beat Kansas State. Jordan went
Let's not talk about it.
1-5. The only win was Tennessee.
I'm a dreamer.
That's okay. Last week was wild. We both picked Nebraska over Illinois. Didn't happen. The Fighting Brett Bielemas are the real deal. Michigan somehow shows up and runs the ball down USC's throat. We picked USC. I picked Utah over Oklahoma State. You picked Oklahoma State. Both picked Tennessee over Oklahoma. And you
that
picked,
Utah running back is nasty.
He's a monster. And then you picked Auburn to beat Arkansas. And they kind of surprised you a little. And then upsets. You were rolling with Arkansas State over Iowa State. That was bad.
What was the final score in Arkansas?
It was 70-something to like 7.
Arkansas.
24-14.
Okay.
And then BYU does beat Kansas State. And that brings us into, is it week 5 already?
Yep.
Week 5.
Yep.
33% of the season's over. We're a third of the way done.
Yeah.
With the regular season. How do you feel about it?
About who?
Just in general. College football. About Arkansas
That's
is
how
right
I feel.
there. But I'm saying, like, how do you feel in general? I mean, we've watched a third of our 24 college football season. And how do you feel about it? It's going by quick.
It's been going by quick. It's been a crazy college season. Like,
who do you believe is the best team in the country a third of the way through? It's just getting started because conference play is just getting started. But
right now, it's hard not to pick Ohio State. They're just nasty.
I just don't. The hard part about Ohio State is they haven't played nobody yet, but they are looking good. Texas is looking good.
Texas looks real good.
I hope that we can end that. You know who else who is proven as well? Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee is so good.
They look good. Proven. Like you try to find who's kind of done something. Texas went to Michigan and put it on them. So Texas. We also now know that Michigan's, but Texas went there
somehow
and
still ranked in the top 25.
Put it on them.
Because they beat up on Arkansas State.
Same thing with Tennessee. They went to Oklahoma. They're going to these places, but also a lot of these top-tier teams that we all say are top-tier teams, they don't have a quarterback.
Nope.
I feel like this is one of the weakest years of quarterback.
Yep.
Like there's nobody you're like, oh, other than
it just
Tennessee.
Stands out. Yeah, Tennessee, and then the
Texas has 2.
Utah has a pretty good quarterback.
It's just like you're not seeing the studs that you're used to or the names being thrown out. The quarterback play has been kind of weak. But week 5, our 5 Pig'ems, there's a lot. There is a lot of good games this weekend.
Really, yeah.
Right off the rip, I think the college game day's got to be in Bama. It's got to be in Tuscaloosa. Number 2, Georgia, laying 1.5 points, going to number 4, Bama.
When's the last time Bama was an underdog at home?
I don't know. I don't know. A while.
Did it ever happen in Nick Saban's era?
It's probably going to flip back and forth. This is Happy Monday, everybody. This is Monday, fresh off the press. We're actually still waiting on 2 NFL games to happen. But I'll be out of town this week. Jordan will be as well, so we have to go in early. I'm sure by the end of the week, Bama, it might be flipped to Bama, being at like a 1-point favorite, just depending. I'm rolling Bama. You're rolling Georgia.
Give me Georgia.
Both teams coming off a bye.
Big test for Bama's new coach.
Big test.
Big test. Got to show me you can coach against Kirby Smart.
I think this is the year that you can't trust what you've seen, but I'm going to try on this game alone. The last time we saw Georgia on a football field, Kentucky almost beat them. It was like 13-12 or something like this, stupid. And they looked god-awful. The last time we saw Bama on a field, they went to Wisconsin and beat them 52-10. and it wasn't even close. Like it was a woodshed moment.
But how do you compare Wisconsin to Kentucky?
I don't know.
If Kentucky and Wisconsin played this weekend, who's winning?
I don't know because I thought that Georgia and Kentucky both looked bad. I thought Bama just looked good.
Okay, I'll accept that answer.
That's the only thing. So I'm rolling Bama, Georgia. By the way, last week all together, I'm 16-7. Jordan's having his redemption week this week. He's 10-13.
Listen, it's just a bad time for sports for me. It just is.
Why?
I'm getting mollywopped in fantasy week in and week out.
Baltimore won. Barely. You
We'll
had a
get
weird
there.
comeback on a comeback.
We'll get there.
But anyways, Jordan's on a comeback tour here. I picked a little bit frisky this week, or this go around. Game 2.
You're real confident with that 16-7.
No, I just picked frisky. I don't know. I'm not as confident as I think I should be. I could easily win one game here. Game 2, number 19 now. The Fighting Brett Bielema's
Stop calling them that.
versus the number 9 Penn State. Penn State laying 17.5.
Yeah.
That's insane to me.
And you're taking an out. Oh wait, never mind.
I'm picking Penn State to win the game. I would pick Illinois on the point side.
Think so?
I do not think Illinois loses by more than 10. If they lose. This team is weird. If you go look at all their games, every game, they're like in that competition.
Penn State, you never know who they are. You never do. But I love Singletary. I think he's a really good running back, maybe top 3 running back in the college football world right now. Penn State always has a good defense, and that still stands true this year. They have one of the top corners. But, I mean, like I said, you never know who Penn State is.
Yeah.
But it's at home, and I don't see them losing to Bielema at home.
They're trying to call for a whiteout style game.
Do it.
Now, they only do whiteout, I think, at night. Just I think is a day game. So I don't think they can do a whiteout, but he's calling for that kind of energy. I'm telling you right now, if you give Illinois any hope, they capitalize on it. They went into Nebraska, which I'm not saying anything. I know that's your dog. They still have a shot.
That was who I had to be in the Big Ten championship.
They still got a shot.
They still have a shot. It's going to be tough against Michigan and Ohio State, though.
No one gave them a shot in that game.
No.
Everybody thought Illinois is just going to, like, Nebraska's the real deal. And Illinois looked great. They look great. Took it to overtime. They muck it up. They make it dirty. They're fighters. They're scrappers. They're not fancy.
That's a Bielema team.
But they stay on that grind, and they love that fat man. He's fatter than ever.
I wish we loved our fat man.
Brett Bielema is the biggest I've ever seen him, and I love it. I'm here for it.
Is he a big old boy now?
He's a big old boy. But he had a big old smile on that face. I'm all for it. The Fighting Bielemas, I think that they beat the spread here, but I do think Penn State wins outright. I'm rolling with Penn State. Are you looking him up?
Yeah, I want to see what he looks like right now. Oh! All right, coach. He don't look any worse than Sam Pittman.
No, Sam's just old. Brett ain't as old as Sam. That's the problem.
Brett looks like a senator.
We'll go straight into game 3. Number 15, Louisville, goes to number 16, Notre Dame.
Speaking of teams that you never know who they are.
Notre Dame is laying 4 here. You're rocking Notre Dame.
At home against Louisville? Absolutely.
I'm rocking the team that nobody in the top 25 is talking. Like, they're not talking about it. Louisville. No one's talking about them. And I think they're solid. I think they go into Notre Dame. Notre Dame is everywhere.
Never know who they are.
Notre Dame is so wishy-washy to me. I don't trust them for nothing. They go to A&M, beat A&M, who is also suspect, come home, lose to a MAC school at Northern Illinois. Then they go and they put it on a team. I picked an upset against them. They put it on a team and then turned around against another MAC team. They won 28-3 against Ohio, but it was ugly until the end. Like the fourth quarter is when they started kind of scoring. But I don't trust Notre Dame for nothing. I'm picking Louisville to go into Notre Dame and pull out.
Not points. You're picking outright.
I'm picking outrights. I don't pick points right now.
All right, then.
I'm rolling the hot hand. You're rocking Notre Dame for the home win. I'm picking Louisville for the – I guess it's an upset even though they're ranked better because Notre Dame is the favorite. Game 4.
Game 4.
The fraudulent number 20 Oklahoma State Pokes versus number 23, Kansas State. Kansas State's laying 5.5.
Kansas State, can you do something for me?
I'm picking Kansas State, even though they lost last week to BYU. That was my upset of the week. I do not trust Oklahoma State.
Man, they're undefeated, though.
They're not.
Oh.
They lost to Utah.
Oh, yeah.
Utah. Put it on them.
They did.
I told you what they would do. Utah can muck it up and run down your throat, and they can't stop a nosebleed. Oklahoma
State
stopped
us.
They didn't stop us. They did not.
Who won the game?
They didn't stop
Who won the
us.
game?
No, timeout.
Who won? Win the game.
They didn't stop us.
Win the game.
They didn't stop us. There's that phrase is not true. They won the game. They did not stop us.
That's a stop.
There was no stop.
What happened at the end of the game?
Taylen Green threw at someone's feet.
I mean, that's a stop.
That's not a stop.
That's a stop.
A stop is if you break up a pass, make an interception, make a tackle. He threw it at a guy who was ass naked in the corner of the end zone at his feet. P. Diddy wouldn't have missed.
He was scared. They had him scared.
Diddy wouldn't have missed that.
Jesus.
All right. I'm rocking Kansas State. You're rocking Kansas State. I can't trust any bit of Oklahoma State to me.
Nope.
They'll probably come out and win this game. Doesn't matter. Utah already ruined it for them. But both rocking here, Kansas State. Game 5. The one you are here to see.
Yeah.
Woo damn pig goes to Jerry World against A&M. Southwest Classic. A&M's laying 4 points. We're going into picks. We'll go into detail. I'm rocking Arkansas to start this off. You're rocking Texas A&M. Jordan, go with your drawing. Jordan has drawn this. This is his thoughts and his thought bubble.
Yep.
Of how the Arkansas season is going. Please describe it.
We are still falling. We are falling at a little slower pace. We had our parachute deployed.
So he's added a parachute to the hog that was drifting
slow
towards
down,
the fire.
To slow down our rapid descent.
Is this a sign?
This is my sign. Wind advisory in effect.
Oh, it's a wind advisory, so he might get...
For those of you who get it, good for you. For those who don't, bite me.
I got it.
But yeah, I still don't. I'm sorry, I don't believe in Taylen Green. Amazing athlete. Yeah. That's all I can say. But couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
Yeah.
If it was wide open.
So Jordan's rocking A&M here.
Satania saved his career.
He sure did.
Because he was set to be benched for the rest of the season if Satania doesn't make that catch.
I don't think he was going to be benched.
He was already benched.
He wasn't benched.
He wasn't benched? What was that?
I think he had an injury or a cramp. If you bench a quarterback, you have to give your backup more than 3 plays. I'm not trying to say this is a bad thing about Taylen. I was hoping that he was benched just so we could see Singleton, because what we were seeing in the third quarter in general from both sides of the ball on our offense and their offense was just doo-doo. And so in this moment of both of us throwing poop at each other, I would rather see what we have here in this moment. They only gave him 3 plays, 1 throw. That to me is not enough to pull a guy. A, the rumor was possibly Taylen was cramping. B, Bobby had to have a sit down with him for a second. And I just think if
our defense was just getting the ball back too fast.
Yeah. I just think that for some reason, if you're going to bench and pull in Singleton, who's a freshman, you're not going to give him 3 plays. You're going to give him 2 or 3 series and see what he's got. You have to. He threw the ball 1 time and it was his first play. He hadn't warmed up the whole game. It's like you're putting a freshman at Auburn. You gave him 1 throw the first play, 2 runs the second 2. I think there was a sub situation there with Taylen more than there was a pulling situation. We all were calling for it.
We'll
see. I just think it was
I don't trust him. I trust his legs all day. I do not trust his arm.
I believe
not even his arm. I don't trust his decision making.
I do trust his decision making. I don't trust how fast it gets from his brain to his body. He can make a good decision. It's just late. And most of the time, the decision he made was the right one. He just made it 5 seconds too late.
That's decision making, though. Part of decision making is the time you make it.
Right. I'm just saying the process.
I make the good decision a lot of times a few days later.
If he, here's my question.
Yep.
Is it that his decision, and this is, I haven't seen enough to know, I get really frustrated because if someone's open early,
Three games isn't enough for you to know.
no, I need a better angle.
Four
of the
games,
camera.
4 games isn't enough for you to know.
No, I need a camera angle better. Are we getting open downfield?
Armstrong is.
I don't think he is. Most of the time, Armstrong's not open unless he's wide open, and then Taylen gets him almost massacred.
Oh my God.
So my question is, are we just not getting separation around the board, or are we? When we see the most separation, most of the time, it's off of a Taylen scramble, which is like him trying to extend a play. Obviously, someone's going to become wide open somewhere. He just has to find them.
Yeah.
Whenever he drops back, because we can't see that part of the field most of the time.
Yeah.
There was a couple plays where you're like, dude, if you throw that slant right there, this dig route, it's there. Is he A, not confident in making the throw, or is he B, not seeing it? Like, I don't know. That's where I'm so confused on his decision making, because most of the time when he extends, the guy that was open early is still open late, and then he hits him. Like Satania across the middle is open almost every play. But we extend and move out, and then we throw to him, and it's like he was there the whole time.
That just tells me he can't go through his progressions. He is really slow going through his progression.
I'm just really confused by it. I tell you who I want off the field. Off the field.
Off the field completely.
Completely. I wouldn't let him play.
Oh, which lineman is it?
Nope. Well, besides our center who keeps throwing.
You're talking about Tyrone Broden?
Broden. Worst attitude still. Ball hit him in the hands. The only ball that he had, was it me? Too loud?
No, I'm looking at my voicemail.
Only ball that he had really thrown at him, hit him in the hands, and then he puts his hands up in the air. It's not like it's on you. It's everybody else's fault. He gives you a half-assed effort, and he has half-assed hands. And then and it's like he's jealous of Armstrong. If you caught every ball that was thrown your way, or at least acted like you wanted it, maybe you would get more. You're built better.
Maybe our number one receiver.
You're built better than Armstrong. But mentally, you're 4 years old.
Yep.
You're the kid in the candy store that's mom said no, and you're throwing a fit. Like, it's ridiculous. I hate his attitude. Has he caught one ball that was worth something?
No.
I understand we've missed you a couple times, but you've also dropped a ball in the end zone on a touchdown pass at Oklahoma State. You did it last week against UAB. You've dropped balls against, you just dropped a ball against Auburn. I'm pulling him, and I'm putting Tesla in. Tesla, Armstrong, Washington, has Satania. I'm rotating this group somehow, some way. I'm rocking Arkansas. I still don't know if Taylen is a junior. They've changed his throwing motion. They mentioned that. But his decision-making, he doesn't see blitzes fast.
Nothing to do with the throwing motion.
Yeah, he doesn't see a blitz coming. I've noticed that. Like, he can't see it.
He doesn't read a defense. His athleticism has gotten him to where he is.
Yes, so he is I can't even say Lamar. He is a Matt Jones-style quarterback with all the potential in the world. But is this just who he is? Like, that's where we're at. Last year, we complained for 2 to 3 years about KJ Jefferson, his decision-making. Couldn't make a throw, right? We loved his deep passing and his deep routes. But if KJ Jefferson had to throw a slant route, it was over people in their shoelaces. It was bad. The same is going for Taylen, but Taylen's a better athlete than KJ. Is this just who Taylen is? And that's who we're going to have to, every week, it's just going to be like, all right, you're going to have to make some athletic plays to hopefully win the game if our defense can keep us in it. Or can you settle down and be a true quarterback? I don't know. And this is the crazy part about being this amazing Razorback fan that you're going to have to be. Every week will be different. You're going to watch Taylen show up in the best game of his life against Tennessee or Texas. And then he'll suck against Louisiana Tech. Like, watch that happen.
Yep.
Or Mississippi State. We're going to be in a dogfight with Mississippi State.
I just don't get how you're surprised at this point.
I'm not surprised.
This is our life.
I'm never surprised by it. You see so much potential in a guy that he's only tapping into like half of it, which is ridiculous because we're 3-1 and we should be 4-0. And you're halfway to where you could be you because you're such a freak athlete. I just need you to be a pretty good quarterback and let the athleticism do the rest. 90% of the greatest plays that you have is because of your athleticism. Then you're extending a play. I really appreciate that, but there might have been a guy open and saved you a hit. And then your hurdle that you almost karate kicked the dude's face off, and then your nuts were on his head, and I'm like, okay, you're going to go down, but I can't wait to see it. It's like you're just eating popcorn waiting to see if he can figure it out. And I think the problem is we trust Bobby P so much with this.
Mm-hmm.
We truly believe that in 1 week, this kid's going to be a quarterback. I'm like, Bobby P's going to sit you down and talk to you, but I don't know. Thoughts?
Jaquindon Jackson's the best running back in the SEC.
Possibly in the country. Like, he's up there. I also am super confused about Bobby Petrino. I never want to question the motorcycle hog, but why in the first 2 quarters, I know the first 15, 20, 30 plays you have is scripted, like this is what we're doing. Why in the third quarter is that the biggest drop-off? It's like we either change our game plan or take a dip, and then in the fourth, we kind of go back to what we liked. Like the entire third quarter was, besides at the very end of the second, where pick thing, the third quarter we sucked. In almost every game, third quarter is like a moment.
Yep.
And then the fourth quarter, it's like someone goes, hey, Bobby, just run the ball. We got Jaquindon, and we stop giving him the ball. And we're trying to throw, and then we're trying to extend, and we're trying to do this. Like, just give the ball to him.
Just
and then he
keep running
runs the
it.
ball down their throat. Also, kid from Benton.
Oh, yeah, Russell?
Russell can go.
Yeah, he can.
That's a big dude.
It's a big boy.
250, and he's a freshman.
And he can run.
And he runs hard. He got hit at the line like a yard and a half back and just drove for that touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for this game. I think Arkansas, I'm looking at the schedule as a whole. And as a Hog fan, an optimistic one, we're looking for 6, right? Like that's kind of 6-6. I'm not saying this is one, but I feel like we're 3-1. I'm looking for 3 wins. I see Louisiana Tech and I see Mississippi State as 2 very gettable games. Then you look at the rest of the schedule, and we got to go get 1 or 2 of these, which we can't. I think we can. Missouri, LSU, Tennessee, Texas A&M, all ranked. We got to get 1. I'm picking either A&M, Missouri, then LSU, then I'm picking Texas and Tennessee. Like I'm saying, like that's my order of difficulty.
We're only losing 3 games.
Oh, yeah? So we're beating LSU?
Beating LSU. They just lost their best defender.
Who are we losing to? Because you have us lose. Or
Texas.
Who are we beating?
Texas and Tennessee.
You have us losing to A&M.
I do.
That's 4.
That's my bet.
We have to beat one of them.
Yeah, if you want us to win, just let me pick that.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're going opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite thing. So I'm rocking Arkansas just because I think they have to. I'm just looking at the schedule. Then what? I'm not just. I have picked Arkansas to win every game, and it's not how I truly envision this. I'm just hoping for the 6. This could be one. A&M's defense is good. Taylen Green. They're going to try their best to just make you make your mistakes because you've done it every game.
Can't drop snaps.
Taylen Green has the highest, I want to say it's like the highest touchdown rating, but he also has the highest interception rating of something.
The highest touchdown to turnover ratio.
Something like that. So the turnovers are probably going to happen. That's what they're going to be banking on.
Yep.
The way they beat us is through turnovers. They're not going to outplay us, I don't think, offensively. They're going to run the ball just like we do, and our defense got to show up. I don't see them blowing us out. I don't see us blowing them out unless there's a turnover situation going on. Like, let's be all 24-14 against Auburn. We should have beat the shit out of them. They had 5 turnovers.
Yep.
Our defense played fantastic. 5 turnovers and 14 points, and we only won by 10. That's crazy to me.
Breaking news: Gonzaga's going to the Pac-12.
The Pac-12 still exists?
Yeah, there's 2 teams.
The Pac-3.
It's Oregon State and Washington State.
Okay. All right. Also, our center, do less squats. I don't know what it is, but you've thrown the ball off your ass cheek on a snap Every game.
Every game.
Every game, multiple snaps are everywhere. And there's slow mode one that when Taylen, first of all, is 6'6" and has to jump for these. Make that make sense.
Yep.
You're all and he's catching them over his head. It literally, he's hitting his own ass cheek. Off his own booty cheek. Okay, stop doing that. All right, stop squatting. Do something. Clinch up. I don't care.
Less
Stop
donuts.
snapping. Less donut, big boy. Upset of the week for me. Washington State 4-0 against number 25 Boise State. Boise State's laying 7 here. At Boise State. Washington State beats Boise State.
You're feeling Washington State this year.
Boise State, welcome to the top 25. Washington State, kick their ass out.
We'll see.
Jordan.
Oh, yeah. Give me Auburn over
Oklahoma.
The Boomer Sooners. 21.
Oklahoma travels to
Welcome
Auburn.
to the SEC.
And you're saying Auburn, after the performance they just put up, gets it together.
Yep.
And they beat Oklahoma.
Yep.
Okay. Pigg'em college football out. Hopping over to what Jordan is very good at. That is the NFL.
That is.
There is 2 games tonight.
What's our records?
If Buffalo wins tonight, I am 8-7. If Buffalo wins tonight, you're 9-6.
Okay.
You just went ham though last week and went 3-1, and I went 1-3. You're probably going 4-1. I'm going to go 1-4.
We'll see.
Games of the week this week. We're going to go with the Cowboys at the Giants. Cowboys are laying 4.5. It's more or less, I think, about Dallas's situation of your first game, you look really good.
Yeah, but their run game is terrible.
And then you have fallen off so far, other than Baltimore choking away the dominance that they had the entire game. They won the game, but it just looks better. It wasn't better. Does Dallas go to New York and just be Dallas, or do they turn this ship around a little bit early?
Even if they don't, I don't see how Dallas loses to New York. I mean,
It's just hard to see.
it's hard to see. One of the running backs needs to wake up for Dallas.
Yeah.
Because that's
Zeke, you can do that because you're on my bench on my fantasy. I thought you'd be like a sleeper, but you're just literally asleep.
that pass rush for New York is the real deal.
Yeah.
Brian Burns is getting after the quarterback.
Something I
in New
saw,
York.
and we're going to get into the second game, which is a battle between you and I. Last night, was Baltimore's offensive line better or Dallas's defensive line bad? Because they were able to run the ball.
No, we're learning how to run Derrick Henry.
Okay.
We did less straight up the gut and more outside zone runs.
Yeah.
Which really helps him.
And it allows to use momentum.
Well, we schemed
for your defender.
We schemed against Mike Parsons.
Yeah.
We ran away from him. We threw away from him. Like it just. Yeah. We just kept the ball away from him.
Both.
But no, the offensive line is still terrible.
Yeah. Both of us are picking Dallas here. Game 2. My Buffalo Bills.
Frauds.
Versus your Baltimore Ravens.
Frauds.
We're not supposed to be nothing but a fraud. Like, that's all we can be. Anything we do is an overachievement if we're winning.
The reason I picked Baltimore here.
Because you're a fan.
I'm a fan. But Buffalo's offense relies on the run game.
Yeah.
We have the number 1 run defense in the NFL.
Buffalo's offense relies on one man.
James Cook.
1-7.
James Cook.
1-7.
James Cook's number 4, Bubba.
1-7.
Yep. Your MVP.
That man.
Your MVP so far is James Cook.
That man. No, it's not. He had what the only thing he had was last game.
Yeah.
He sucked the game before that.
Yeah.
And guess who won the game before that? 1-7. He flew. His finger was broken. You remember that?
How's it?
He didn't have to do nothing.
How was it broken?
He didn't have to do nothing last week, which I thought was great. Like, I hated it for my fantasy team, but he literally just kept handing the ball off, and I think he dumped off a screen. And other than that, it was all Mr. Cook and the offensive line. So I think he had a full almost 2 weeks to recover the hand. I don't know if it's a broken finger or what because it was taped, but I hope he's healthy enough to do what he gonna do tonight. But I think against you guys,
we're not losing 2 in a row at home.
I'm eager to see.
We're not losing 2 in a row at home.
how we facilitate our wide receivers, and I'm still waiting on that Mr. Kincaid to have a day.
Yeah, same with all of the starting, like all of the big profile tight ends right now.
Nothing.
No Kelsey, no Andrews. Andrews had one target. You know how many routes he ran last game?
Yeah, that's bad.
He ran 4 routes. Yeah. But run game's working for us, and the defense is playing well.
Yeah, I'm just picking Buffalo because I'm a fan. That's it. And I love Josh Allen. I think that he actually is the truth. Game 3, weird one. Eagles laying 2.5 at Tampa. Both teams.
Who are both of those teams? If
Eagles
I shall ask.
show up, then they won what, 15-12. It was ugly.
I was so ticked. I just got Derek Carr off the waiver wire, number 2 fantasy quarterback, and everybody was ticked that I grabbed him.
Yeah, they were.
When I should have went and got Sam Darnold.
Yeah, he went ham.
He did. He went Hamsterdam.
Sam did Sam. But then you turn around with Baker, and Baker, they flopped. Was it Seattle?
Baker was getting hit. Baker was pressured constantly.
Tampa, seeing that score against Seattle was horrible.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. Same with Houston. I didn't think Houston was going to get blown out like that.
Seattle is the real deal.
You've been trying to say that New Orleans is a real deal.
They are. Seattle is only the real deal because of who their head coach is. And that's who should be the Ravens head coach right now.
Who's
that's
that?
another. Mike McDonald. He was our defensive coordinator last year, and I think we should have fired our head coach and promoted him. Instead, we let him go to Seattle. So good luck to Seattle.
We're both rocking with Tampa.
I'm going with Tampa.
Home.
I love Baker. I love Baker.
Right now, I just, weirdly enough, I don't trust the Eagles. Also, their wide receivers are getting banged up.
Yep. So we don't know if they're going to have A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith.
Devontae got banged up. A.J. was out last game.
But they still have like 3 starting caliber receivers on their team.
True. I don't know. I'm feeling the Baker story here.
Saying for years that Jalen Hurts was a fluke.
He's not a fluke.
He's a fluke.
He's not a fluke.
He's a fluke.
Game 4, number 3-0, Seattle.
Damn right.
At Detroit. I'm rocking with them Lions. They got to turn this ship around and actually show up. Seattle looks good.
Yeah. Defense is amazing. You know why?
What?
That head coach, baby.
Seems like it's a reoccurring thing.
Defense wins championships.
I'm rocking Detroit. You're rocking Seattle. Then, again, a weird game. 3-0 Pitt.
Odd.
At 2-point
Steelers.
2-point favorite at Indy.
The only team I want to lose every single week. I cheer for 2 teams every Sunday. The Ravens
and whoever's
playing the Steelers.
Well, tell that to the man who wasn't good enough to play in Chicago anymore. Justin Fields.
Playing out of his mind.
Playing fantastic for his game. Not playing like a fantastic quarterback, playing his game.
Who if they beat?
Let's go look.
The Chargers.
This is also just hatred coming. Pittsburgh has beat the Falcons 18-10
in week 1. So Kirk Cousins' first week out there.
Pittsburgh has beat 13-6 the Denver Broncos.
Enough said.
Pittsburgh has beat. You picked Pitt to win.
What? Because the Colts are sorry. I don't want
they
Pittsburgh.
beat the Chargers
I'm
20-10.
Listen, I'm silly. I'm not stupid.
The Colts 1-2. I believe in Anthony Richardson.
I don't. F that guy. He ruined my fantasy year.
I believe in him.
No, he's so inconsistent. He makes terrible decisions. He's the NFL's Taylen Green. Amazing athlete, can make stuff happen, but when it's down to the wire and a quick decision needs to be made, he cannot make it. Why are you looking at me like that?
I think you're blowing smoke.
Why am I blowing smoke?
I don't know.
So you may have not seen this. Rolling out. He's rolling out of the pocket. Has a wide receiver, front of the end zone, nobody on him. Or tight end. Tight end, front pylon, nobody on him. Michael Pittman about 3 yards behind him, about 3 yards deeper into the end zone. Triple covered. He shot puts it to Michael Pittman instead of this guy that's 2 feet from him. And it's like that consistently. Michael Pittman could be a top 8 receiver in the NFL if he had a good quarterback. You know that Anthony Richardson is completing less than 50% of his passes?
I have.
Yeah. But you believe in him. He's not Joe Hendry.
I'm going to say I believe in certain people, but I don't believe in their program. Like,
you think this is on the Colts?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Who they got?
They have a good offensive line and the best running back in the NFL.
Taylen. Exactly. They have a running back. Who are you going to throw to?
Michael Pittman, again, would be a top 8 receiver if he was on any other team.
I think if you put the guy that was in the stands, T.Y. Hilton, back on your team, he would help out a lot.
You mean the guy who threw Seth Rollins
over the top, kicked him out? You know what Seth Rollins was rocking too? Caleb Williams jersey.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'd give that back. O'Callahan, 2.0. Caleb Williams has the game of his life. I'm going to give him some credit. He did lose. He went 33 of 52 for 363, 2 tuds, 2 picks. On the season, he's only thrown for 630. So in 2 games, he threw for 330. In 1 game, he threw for 333. Still lost.
Can I say something?
Can't score.
He easily has the worst offensive line in the NFL.
I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't.
What?
I think they also.
You're not giving him any benefit of the doubt. You are saying he's just a terrible player.
You know what also Chicago Bears have?
What do they have?
One of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
No.
Yes.
No.
Who besides Bo Nix?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is not worse than him. Bryce Young's on a shittier team. Actually, can't say that because Andy Dalton lit him up.
Yeah, he did.
Okay, so, yeah, but I will say this. No, but I will say this. I'm going to fully.
You think another quarterback in Chicago is going to do better than what's going on right now?
Yes. Another quarterback in Chicago? Like, if I put someone else in Chicago's thing, they'd do better?
You think so?
Over 20. Over 20 guys would do better than Caleb Williams. I'm just saying.
You think there's 20 backups in the NFL?
Backups? I didn't say that. You said put another quarterback.
But they're starting somewhere else.
If I flip-flop them.
So you think so here we go. Aside from
throw out quarterbacks that I think could be successful.
Here, let's do it this way. If Caleb Williams is on Philadelphia, they have a winning record. Yep.
I don't believe.
Sure do.
I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that at all.
I believe in Caleb Williams.
I do not. You didn't last week. You were on board with me, and now you're like, oh, wait a minute.
On board with what?
Every squirrel finds a nut. We'll just say that. Every squirrel finds a nut. He found his acorn.
He's not going to play well this year.
Still lost.
He's a quarterback. He's a rookie quarterback with one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. He's not going to do well.
He wasn't going to do well. It didn't matter. Do you think
that Bryce Young is a terrible quarterback?
I think that Bryce Young needs a lot of help, but this is where I was getting into. I truly do like and believe what Tom Brady's saying. Now we are dumbing down the game so much for these young kids. Not saying that they're not smart; they're geniuses at the game. But when they get in there, what did all the greats do? They sat behind someone else, and none of these guys are doing that.
Not Lamar.
Most of the greats. What did Brady do? He sat behind Bledsoe. He sat behind, right? Sat there for a long time. He sat.
Oh, I'm not arguing that.
Studied the game.
But
I'm not saying.
I don't want you to say that only.
Josh Allen came in. I think they're great quarterbacks for now and the game that we play now.
Josh Allen started right out the gate.
That's what I'm saying. Those guys, they're great now, but that's the new norm.
Yeah.
Is that you have to get this kid, and I don't like it because what's happening is you have how many? Okay.
So you're saying in 4 years, Caleb Williams you don't think he's going to be in the league?
I think in 4 years, Caleb Williams will be a backup. 100%.
Now, a couple weeks ago, you were saying he's not going to be in the league.
I don't think I said he was going to be in the league. I said he wouldn't be starting for anybody. Okay. I don't think so. He'll be in the league because people are going to hold him for a minute. But what this is happening. Okay, so we need to backtrack on this.
Let's backtrack.
Not on that. I'm saying like on. I want to do some research on it. When did the guys coming in really starting? When did that big era happen? I knew there was freak things of people coming in and they would start immediately because the team was so bad. Kind of like how you're saying with Caleb Williams. The team's so bad, they got rid of a quarterback that was their first round pick a couple years ago, and then now they're doing this, and he's the next. When did that start?
Jamarcus Russell.
But was there a lot of people following after that, or was it just like he was a fluke for a minute and then they started bringing? Because did Mahomes sit?
Yes, he sat behind Alex Smith for
a year or two.
Right, it may have just been 1 year.
But you start looking at all these guys in the league right now. I think it's now the new league.
I think we're just not patient.
We're not. It's sad. It's like we need it now. But
I think we
look at 'em.
misjudge how hard it is to get acclimated to the NFL versus college football.
You look at the guys that sat versus that didn't sit right now. Pat Mahomes sat.
Jordan Love,
sat.
Aaron Rodgers.
Who else sat? Aaron Rodgers sat. He's still in the league. I forget. Did Matthew Stafford sit in Detroit?
No,
he didn't. He started right away.
Matthew Stafford was the guy.
So, but it's like you're looking.
He
at
may have been that Kickstarter of like, oh, you can bring a guy in and him be successful.
Yeah, we had Megatron too that helped out a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, and his arm was stupid.
You mean who dropped a lot of balls?
His arm was stupid too. He could throw like 7.
He could.
But you look at the main kind of okay, but then you have okay. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback?
Yeah,
I just think he needed more. He needs more time to develop because what happens is you give these guys
24 years old.
You give these guys 3 or 4 seasons, and then you're determining that they can't do it. And it's like Jordan Love has sat 3 seasons, 4 seasons. You sat him.
He pretty much had a new contract, needed a new contract
when he started.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I think that's real. And it's not fair to a lot of these guys, like a Bryce Young. I think he could be a great quarterback.
He absolutely could.
He has to sit behind an Andy Dalton. Let him sit behind him.
See, I need you to have this kind of confidence in Caleb Williams.
No, I think he's horrible.
Only because of is it because of what he has and hasn't done, or because of how much people hyped him up?
Both. I think
so. It's no fault of his own.
No. It is because he hyped himself up.
By what? Being in a Dr. Pepper commercial?
No, by saying he wanted ownership of a team. He wanted part ownership when he got drafted. He was kind of throwing the Eli Manning temper tantrum of where he wanted to go. But then he won a Heisman off a team I thought was not very good.
That is true.
Watching him in college, the world hyped him up, and I'm not sure why. And that's fine on his part. I didn't like his attitude. I didn't. Watching him play in college was him in like a Bo Nix situation as well. Watching them in college, other than my hatred for Bo Nix's spike, he can't read shit. Like Oregon's offense and USC's offense were determined. The play was determined. This is where we're going. Like they would stare. I don't think that's going to transition. Worth a poop. But I think that I didn't like his attitude. Didn't like his game. I think he won a fake Heisman. A lot more people were more deserving to me than that. I don't believe in him. I watching him play, I have no confidence in him. It's kind of like, what did Bo Callahan do in the movie that really made that guy not want it? He didn't know. It was just that feeling. And I have that same feeling towards him. I don't think Caleb Williams is going to prove me wrong.
Can't wait for a couple years to come down the line.
But I do seriously think if you look at all these guys that come out of college that were solid in college, that don't sit, we out them so fast.
We're so impatient.
Man, he sucks. He's 25. He's still a kid. Like
Lamar.
Give him 4 or 5 years from now. He could be one of the best in the league, but you'll out him.
Will. Well, I mean, look right now. But shoot, like you said, Trevor Lawrence is like 25 years old. Lamar is 25 years old. Like, but people are so quick to oust these guys and be like,
because you see him on TV for so long. They've been there for 3 years. They should do something. It's like he's also still a child. I'm not 24, 25 to me, still a kid, but like
Peyton didn't win his first playoff game until his 3rd or 4th season.
And they sat. Look at Jordan Love.
Well, Peyton didn't sit.
You look at Jordan Love, and he's like, you're like, oh my God, this guy's great. But you forget that he sat for 4 years.
Yep.
That there was a massive uproar. First of all, there should have been. I don't know if then was the right pick to pick him in the first round for the Packers because they were 1 play away from going to a Super Bowl the year before. So it's like, just give Aaron a weapon.
Again.
But they were looking so far down the line. So now it's not a horrible look.
I think the fans are too quick to like, oh, we drafted a quarterback. That means our quarterback's on. No, it just means that like we are planning for the future.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hard thing though.
I don't think Michael Penix was a bad choice for the Falcons.
Yeah,
let him sit for a couple years behind Kirk Cousins.
100%. I think that they're doing him the right way.
Yeah,
I think that the Falcons see what everybody else is like. Penix, I forgot all about him, and that's perfect. That's what you're supposed to do. When you draft a quarterback in the first round, you're supposed to forget you did.
Yep.
It's about who's on the field.
That's a good problem to have.
It is. When you draft a quarterback first round and you don't have to even mention his name for 2 seasons.
Steelers did it with Roethlisberger.
It's a perfect storm, and it's proof. You can't dumb the game down enough for these guys to be absolutely amazing and rely on their athletic ability and you talking in their helmet and they're going to just get it. It's a different game than what they're used to. And you're throwing them in a transition period. It's like throwing somebody in a high school game and then starting them in this Alabama versus Georgia game.
Yeah.
Like your athletic ability is great, but so is all theirs. All of theirs. And if you make one bad move, or your ball has a little bit too much air on it, you put it at 2 foot to this side, it's
Pick
going
6.
the other way.
Yep.
If you wait a half a second longer than what you did in college, you're getting lit up. Do you think Michael Parsons is normal? Like he's going to light your ass up.
Well,
that transition.
He's going to try. He couldn't catch Lamar.
That is true. That transition, I think, is such a massive leap that the NFL is trying to make easier. And it can't be. It can't be. It's like an all-star game. You cannot. It doesn't matter if you're playing the Panthers.
And maybe that's just my mentality. I have a lot more patience for things like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't think the Ravens are going to do anything spectacular this year because that offensive line needs time to gel. They're all under 24, 25. So they need time. Well, one guy, I think we have one guy's like 27. But yeah, like you just got to be patient as fans.
And I don't think we will ever be.
No, we want our teams to win now.
Yep. Unless you're a realistic person of like, okay, they're in
like
a rebuild.
Browns fan.
Yeah, or like the Browns. Shit. No, the Browns, I think, are in a bad situation because they felt like they had a shot. They had a really good squad. They have one of the most expensive teams I think you can buy. And they look like poop.
Yeah.
Like, for me, being a Bills fan this year, I know that we've destroyed our wide receiver core. We've freed up money on the defensive side. We're young on the defensive side. We're young on the offensive side. We just have our quarterback. Thank God we believe in him. And we have a James Cook. And we have a young Dalton Kincaid. I'm not expecting us to do anything. If we make the playoffs and we can win a game, that's a win for me.
Yeah.
If we can do exactly what we did last year with this new team, I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah. Because then it's just nothing but build.
Yeah, we haven't lost anything. We stayed the same, and we got rid of so much money and 2 guys that we thought were studs, plus our defense, our D-backs. I love that. But I'm more of a realistic person. Now, on your Baltimore side.
Not too realistic.
What do you mean?
You pick Buffalo to win.
Yeah, I still think we could beat you guys. Like, I'm going to pick that. So that's going to do it. Episode 24, guys. Know how you're really doing. We were just here 5 days ago. We're going to be out of town for the rest of the week.
We'll have some How You Doing it next week.
We will.
Sure.
We will. Because How You Doing next week is the week before Bachelor Trip. Before we go watch some NASCAR.
Shit.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. Batch Trip is 2 weeks from now. Going to Talladega. It's going to be absolutely.
So it's like we'll be coming back 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
snap.
2 weeks from today, we'll be headed back.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, the race is 13 days away. It's gonna be nuts because all of our guys made it to the next round, which is the best part. Is that actually matters.
Matter. Mine's gonna win.
It actually matters. He could. You never know.
He will.
He could. Never know. But
if Arkansas wins this weekend, he will win the race.
But that's it for episode 24, guys. Thank you so much for sticking around, hanging out with us, going through our pig'ems and our pig walk.
You can't make up your mind on
NFL
whether you want to
section.
hold your mic or not.
I can't. All right, this is ADHD at its finest. I'm giddy. I don't know.
Now that you've learned you can just take it off and hold it, you've been going back and forth.
And the cord doesn't get caught anymore.
That's nice.
Thank you guys for sticking with us. Jordan, close us out, sir. Here's your flosser.
Thank you for my flosser. I was going to pick it up. It's probably got red fuzzies in it now. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Once again, as always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, put them down in the chat box and we will answer. And yeah, that's all we got. It was a quick, easy one today, but we're going to have a big one for you next week. We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. We get to 50 subscribers. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. If we get to 50, we can actually go live with you guys, interact with you. You can comment. We would love to do that. So please hit that subscribe button. Sorry. Words are hard, okay? We're from Arkansas. 3 things, though, before you go that I want you to live by. 1, hogs by 90. 2, never piss into the wind. And 3, and most importantly, never, ever, ever trust a fart.
Especially when you're this close to fire.
That's right. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
And remember, there's a wind advisory in effect.